Be sure to head on over to the new Discord community, link is in the description. We talk both music and ponies and are currently looking to expand our mod team. Those with experience are welcome to apply. Alright, on to the video. Hey, what up, Black Queen here with another episode of Queen Reacts, and today we are revisiting Cinema Sins Everything Wrong with My Little Pony by LittleshyFiM. Now it's actually been I think nearly 2 years since I had done the last set of these, because I had actually done something else from Littleshy, which was the r/place video, instead of doing a Cinema Sins video, or Cinema Sins, sorry. Now we're going to be catching up with at least 6 of them, finishing off season 6. And we have episodes 20 to 26. We have Viva Las Pegasus, Every Little Thing She Does, Point of View, Where the Apple Lies, Top Bolt, and To Where and Back Again, Part 1 and 2. Just to briefly go through these episodes, Viva Las Pegasus, that was a decent episode. It had some nice moments with Flim and Flam. I don't really have any strong opinions about it, really. Every Little Thing She Does is pretty fun. Just shows how not there Starlight was yet. I feel like normal people would know not to hypnotize their friends, but whatever. Point of View, rather weak episode, I'd say. Not really one of the best. Kind of out there and not really, I guess it doesn't really feel believable for the characters. Where the Apple Lies, I really do like, actually. I think it's really fun and entertaining. It's always nice to see whenever we do like a flashback episode. Those are like some of my favorites. And then Top Bolt is a really good episode. I love how they tackled the idea of codependent relationships. And I feel like it's clear that they are a couple. They just didn't. They just decided not to say it like that, I guess. Feels like up until like the last minute they wrote it as these two are like a couple, and then like right before then there was like, yeah, let's not do that. And then To Where and Back Again, a really great finale. Shows some great moments for Starlight, has a great moments for Discord even, and I guess a few for Trixie, and I don't know, Thorax is there. But he does become the king afterwards of the Changing Hive. Excited to get into these, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first one is Viva Las Pegasus. Everything wrong with Viva Las Pegasus in 3, 2, 1.
There's nothing else?
Nothing else?
Just friendship.
Las Pegasus?
It's just one big party.
All those lights and sounds?
Fluttershy's social anxiety makes sense, but what does Applejack have against parties? Graphite timber.
I know Las Pegasus doesn't seem like either of your cups of tea.
Twilight, the only tea AJ's drinking is applesauce. This vacation destination in the clouds lacks any safety precautions for the many ponies who can't walk on clouds. You'd think someone with magic powers could find really high-level jobs, but this door pony uses psychic powers to know when guests are approaching. You would expect this camera's flash to brighten up the subject directly in front of it, when in fact it's bright enough to blind all of Equestria.
You know who we are?
I'm what you might call a friendship connoisseur.
Oh no, judging by that, the flashy outfit, and the outgoing personality, he's an analysis brony.
Damn.
This absolute mad lad announces a special on apple fritters, then takes Applejack in the opposite direction. Nice establishment you have here, Mr. Gladmane. However, it appears you have an insect problem, judging by the bug on the camera lens.
Oh.
If this pony calls you friend, you're welcome.
I love this guy's hairstyle and beard.
Gladmane just got done calling every pony his friend.
But I can't help but thinking of each and every one of you as friends.
Must get really crowded backstage.
I've never seen a pink prairie dog before.
Implying she has seen the white one with pink stripes. Here's why characters normally blink while shifting their gaze. Somehow having his employees loudly arguing like this is all part of Gladmane's plan. You'd think the angry shouting about price gouging charlatans would hurt his hotel's image, or at the very least prompt some negative reviews.
Pony Yelp, what did that say?
They'd be running this place in 2 shakes.
Gladmane spoils the episode's plot, all for the sake of self-incriminating foreshadowing.
I'm never speaking to that pony again.
The very next time we see them, they speak to each other. This mare looks way too happy to be trapped in a machine with no apparent means of escape. The anti-brony laugh.
The waifu simulator.
This rabbit having a voice is much more impressive than the acrobatics or magic trick itself. It even verbally talks to Fluttershy later on.
Shouldn't some pony do something?
Applejack poses a 4-word question, and this production assistant responds with a rich backstory and plot recap. Leave it to the PA to have a cutie mark that is easily mistaken for a noose. This overdramatic and needlessly hostile argument should have been more along the lines of, "Hey, Gladmane said you wanted to do it this way. I never said that way. Okay, let's go ask Gladmane why he keeps lying to us."
Yeah.
Two friendship problems
But, you know, talking
in the
things out
same
never
theater? No.
doesn't. It never makes for a good episode, I guess.
Misfortune because your job depends on it.
I don't actually believe that.
Fluttershy and Applejack stop at the buffet table to have a nice, long conversation. This officially makes them the worst kind of people. Scene begins with Flim telling Applejack they don't trust her by saying she's just some pony off the street. Then a few moments later, they suddenly remember she can't lie and is in fact a main character. Leave it to the greedy sales ponies to forget who Applejack is.
Because the only problem I have is standing right there. Same here, Buster.
Flim proves his brother is the smart one by agreeing with that statement.
Yeah.
Both Flim and Flam openly discuss things Gladmane
like, I hate
accused them
you.
of saying.
Me
they
too.
refuse to believe Gladmane would lie, even though each of them is claiming the other said something they didn't.
And if I'm telling you he said it, you know it's the absolute truth because
You never lie.
It was very fortunate that they finished her sentence for her. Had she claimed to never lie, that'd make at least 2.
What size gown do you wear?
Oh, you know, the same every other default mare wears.
Damn.
Fluttershy's disguise vanishes for a moment.
Oh.
Strange for him to have an office with 0 privacy like this. Also, instead of facing the window to overlook his hotel can only try to overlook him. Great job, you two.
The ass,
Real
though.
hide-and-seek champions here.
Just giving the
Why
show.
would their plan involve Gladmane believing they were hoping he would confess to manipulating ponies to argue right in front of a competitor and also right in front of one of the ponies he's been manipulating? Because story before logic, that's why. Remember, this is all a ruse, and they expected this part to happen. Their fake reaction of defeat is solely for us. Stage 2 of the friendship game
this is
plot
probably just like the
even
backup
lamer.
plan.
For one, Fluttershy isn't even pushing the button for most of his confession. She has to carefully press the button while he's not looking, which means the confession cuts out the most important bits and would sound more like this.
You're the only ponies to ever figure out the secret to my success.
I'm guessing maybe she did have it pressed. He just
Except
like
for all the times
was so
he's
full of
clearly
himself that he
facing
didn't.
Fluttershy and somehow doesn't see her leaning on his desk to push the button. He also
Yeah.
somehow didn't hear the speakers, which are mounted just outside his window. Not only that, but the microphone somehow picks up any voice in the room, even when far away and facing the opposite direction. But the biggest sin of all is that Fluttershy
saw
and
that.
Applejack's master plan is to simply walk in and hope he would confess unprompted. He just happened to be sitting in his office. He just happened to not kick them off the property. He just happened to deliver this incriminating monologue for no reason.
Yeah,
he just happened
it
to
is
not see
all
Fluttershy
kinda
push the
set up,
button. And every pony who needed to hear this
perfectly
just
for them.
happened to appear by the time he finishes. That's gotta be at least 5 sins. The moment
Yeah.
Fluttershy learned from the animals that Gladmane is a liar, he could have easily been revealed. So, once again, the plot hinges upon all of these ponies being mindless dum-dums. If performers can up and leave at a moment's notice, then that's on Gladmane for not having a proper contract in place. Doesn't that make him a better employer than most for retaining employees through kindness and not through force?
Gladmane has left the building.
In
Elvis.
Equestria, leaving the building means you no longer legally own the property. It also grants others the right to topple your statue like some kind
Kinda
of unstable
true.
dictatorship. Maybe the first to put a new statue up gets to be the new owner.
Derpy.
Introducing the most pointless split-screen effect of all time, which immediately cuts to a shot where they're both visible anyway. Microphone randomly switches
True.
on and off. Except for here, where it enters a quantum state of on and off at the same time.
If it weren't for your history with Flim and Flam, you never would have been so determined to find some pony else to help.
The map actually brought
Oh,
Applejack
wow.
here because it somehow knew her bias against helping ponies would be of use. Wouldn't the problem have been
That's
solved
kinda
much
epic,
sooner
actually.
if it was any other pony, or even just Fluttershy on her own?
No, I think no. They were saying because like if they only found
seems a lot more
Flim and Flam, then it
serious
only solved Flim and Flams, but they also needed to solve the other ones, and AJ was the one to solve the other ones, or at least discover them.
Customers, I'm very happy to announce that everybody in the store right now has just won $20. Thank you.
Oh, you can't
I don't know where that's from.
out of a pony like me. Oh, no. Oh, no, wait.
Oh. The stare. Oh, okay. I got it now. No, I was thinking of something at the end there. there. I was thinking something at the end. I'm trying to remember what it was. Yeah, so I was thinking, like, the initial problem wasn't how the customers saw or felt or interacted with each other. It was literally just those three groups that were fighting amongst themselves. So if they had been let in on Gladmane is the one lying to you guys and just found that out, at least if they were in the clear, then I feel like that would be enough, because as he established, Flim and Flam would have worked their way up to the top and taken his position with how cunning they are if it wasn't for them fighting all the time. So eventually they would have gotten, the problem would have solved itself and he would have been out. Like, it just probably wouldn't have been as immediate as they're saying. But Flim and Flam definitely would have gone up the ladder soon. And if they just told the other pair of the ponies that were arguing, neither of them said what they're being told by Gladmane, then it would have just been off camera, I guess. It would have been off camera, the resolution. All right, next episode we got is Every Little Thing She Does. We getting some Starlight in this. Let me go ahead and pull it up, and all right, 3, 2, 1.
Hear my voice and listen.
Hear my voice. I shall.
It's implied that Starlight's spell automatically follows Twilight and also accounts for environmental factors, cluing her into the fact that she should hold her breath or avoid falling to her death. All within the realm of possibility for magic, of course, but still too convenient not to sin. Cave magnet hooves.
I don't know.
How do they work?
Maybe they planned on where to
Precious
go.
family photo sacrifice in the name of Banana. Captain Equestria.
Oh.
Twilight is doing all of this in the library, even though they could have easily teleported somewhere more suitable.
Maybe there is such a thing as too much studying.
Who are you, and what have you done with Twilight?
This does look fun,
Campsite
though.
quitter.
As you know.
As you know, anything following as you know is solely for the benefit of the viewers at home. A sin for the multitude of super overpowered spells which would be very useful for solving problems in the future, yet we never see them again. Spike respects her privacy by knocking, but asserts his authority by coming in anyway. No equality allowed. Cartoon ponies.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know that the dusty old library has the proper lighting.
Rarity, this crystal castle magically appeared quite recently. There is nothing dusty nor old about the library. Also, if lighting is the main concern, surely the Unicorn Master Race would have some RGB spells.
Perhaps we can stay out here in the foyer.
I don't know.
I thought Fluttershy and I could work with the animals right here in the foyer.
No, Starlight. If you want to work
Foyer.
with either Rarity or Fluttershy, it has to be pronounced foyer.
Yeah.
We can stay out here in the foyer. Yay. This
For
poor
yay.
little eagle with a spring wing might be
Nice.
better off up in one of the towers.
Fluttershy has a sick sense of humor if she wants to trap a bird that can't fly high up in a tower.
Maybe if you spend some time getting to know
In a minute, Fluttershy.
Damn.
Starlight just cut Fluttershy off.
Yeah.
She wasn't reformed. She's a supervillain now.
We need
Yeah.
very specific conditions for optimal chillaxing.
Well, that's one way of mooching on Starlight's Netflix password.
After all,
Huh?
it's
Oh.
a piece of cake to
I understand.
This musical fake-out is funny, but no
Took
one
me a
fell
second.
for it because Pinky's voice didn't suddenly change to a different actor.
True.
Also, it's a good thing Starlight
Shannon
cut her
K-
off because
no
these
Shannon
lyrics
Ken.
are ripped straight from Lazy Town. Of course, Pinky could operate this without pushing the tip. All sweets and baked goods fear her and are under her control.
It
There
is.
is
Oh my
nowhere
god.
to chillax in this castle.
You hear that, kids? If you want your ponies to chillax, you have to buy them a separate playset.
How did they get
Maybe if
away
I
with
cast
that?
a little spell to help things along. Something simple and safe.
Mind control is Starlight's idea of a little simple and safe spell. If Starlight's
I'm
goal
still,
is
like,
to make them easier to persuade
thrown
and to make
thrown
the
off
lessons
because of that.
simpler, she should have known the spell failed the moment they're turned into mind-controlled zombies. What was the end game here? They'd have to talk to Twilight
Avengers.
about this day eventually.
Every pony wins.
No, every pony loses. Their agency, but also the game.
That's a whole lot of photos. How do you usually organize them? However you want me to organize them, Starlight.
Except she asked how they're usually organized. Does AJ normally organize photos based on however this pony she only met recently wants them?
Yeah.
Where are all the animals?
They ran away.
And why didn't you stop them?
Starlight doesn't ask why they ran away, because that is evident. What is not evident is how Starlight didn't see how her next command was a bad idea. The order was to follow the instructions until Starlight got back. Pinky's most basic instincts take over, and she fails to obey that last part now that Starlight's back.
Yeah,
Applejack's
I know.
eyes
That I
aren't
did
glazed
know.
over from the spell anymore. She temporarily broke through its power and is simply reminiscing upon Apple history all by herself. What's more horrifying? This, or this potentially not bothering Fluttershy under normal circumstances?
We need water!
Yes,
I don't know. Probably the latter.
Rainbow Dash
Yes,
could have just
Starlight,
as easily
remember.
brought an eyedropper of water. The fact she brings clouds full suggests there's a little bit of them still inside that is simply trolling. Background ponies are the real mindless
There's a theory
slaves
that-
for obeying Rainbow
that,
Dash's extremely
none of them
quick
are actually
off-screen orders. This is
hypnotized.
some extremely dense water for every
And
pony,
yeah, they-
especially a
how
bear,
is
to
she able to
simply
get all
float
the
on
other
its
ponies to
surface.
do that?
Twilight wasn't expecting to be back until night. Her presentation must have been cut short by the glitchy, pixelated sun that got stuck. She's also immediately angry before she could have possibly known this is Starlight's fault.
It was really powerful stuff.
I mean, her
They're
house
gonna feel
is a
that in
mess.
the morning.
Pony
Sure.
hangovers, you know, for kids.
It was
Yeah.
a friendship lesson, not a baking lesson.
Twilight could have clarified this in the first place. It's not unreasonable for Starlight to be hesitant about learning how to bake or sew, but had she known it was just a matter of hanging out with some friends, none of this would have happened.
Things got a little out of hand last night.
Hoof!
Starlight deflects responsibility upon someone with hands. The main six are extremely quick to forgive the ex-cult leader's crimes against ponanity. Between the season 5 finale and
Ponanity.
this episode, maybe they have no choice but to forgive her, considering Starlight's terrifying power if they were not on the same team.
True.
Every giant castle has to have an obligatory creepy hallway full of spiders, even
True.
if by design. You know you're a main character when you and your friends cast your
ass.
very own rainbow. And so the
Oh,
trend
yeah.
continues. In My Little Pony, it's more efficient and more rewarding to fix your own mistakes than it is to do good in the first place.
Well, who's going around not making mistakes?
Maybe if you spend some time getting to know.
In a minute, Fluttershy.
Yeah. Discord. I mean, like, Discord and Starlight are pretty closely matched in terms of their power. So we've seen. Maybe Discord just wasn't fighting back, but like Starlight whooped his ass. But yeah, that was pretty fun. A lot of interesting points actually, and again the whole Lazy Town thing. I did not realize that until now. It is the exact same lyric. It's a piece of cake to bake a pretty cake. How did I not realize that? Oh well. We're gonna go ahead and get into the next one. The next one is Pony Point of View. And 3, 2, 1.
So, how was the trip? What's she doing here?
Instead of teleporting to her destination, Twilight excitedly trots there just to watch Spike suffer. Stallion is mildly concerned that Daisy is frozen solid.
Oh.
Reminder that the creature which swims in lava still sweats.
It's such a shame Rainbow Dash and
Yeah.
Fluttershy had to miss it for their Cloudsdale Flight School reunion.
Even
That
good
would have
exposition
been
can be
a
sin
better
for giving us a
episode.
hint of an episode we'll never see. They're each very upset
Why
with
didn't
one
we get
another
that
in this
episode?
scene, even
That
refusing
would
to
have
walk
been
home
better.
next to one another. Yet
Pinkie.
later, we learn that Pinkie Pie got along very well with Applejack and has no reason not to join her. Might right trigger. Whoa there, Twilight. Don't overexert yourself while exercising. At least that might be why Twilight places the cup using levitation, then moves it again with her hoof. Cleaning with spit. Although, to be fair, alicorn spit may have magical cleaning properties for all we
Maybe.
know. But you'd also expect an alicorn to possess far more hygienic cleaning magic.
But once Rarity, Applejack, and Pinkie Pie have some tea and talk it out, I'm sure every pony will feel better.
The opening credits are still rolling, Twilight. Don't count on a solution that quickly.
Gummy, Opalescence, and Winona?
No, it's Gummy, Winona, and Opalescence. Poor AJ can't even get a break from being last when it's her pet.
over
This
the
crab
dog.
is now landlocked in the center of the continent and doesn't have a great
No
chance of
crab
survival.
jokes.
Instead of flying the flag of Equestria, the boat flies the flag of where the show is made.
I had brought a small bag with just a few
Oh,
key
fuck.
essentials.
After Rarity's line about just a few
How did
key
they get away with
essentials,
that?
the wind itself laughs so hard that it
It's the
loses its
moon.
breath.
I see.
Large serving
Okay.
tray removed from comically small bag. Applejack points to her destination port side, then turns starboard.
A day of opulence, decadence, and
Decadence is defined by moral decay, and that's pretty much the definition of a sin.
it's freshly spun.
Freshly spun where?
Are those chocolate chip?
What, the round purple things?
Spain
Could it
without
be
the A.
Hasbro board games and a
Spain.
show all about Hasbro's dolls? They
Oh.
wouldn't. Pinkie mistaking the fight for a fun game of tug-of-war is exactly what you'd expect from the other two stories, but this is in fact Pinkie's own account.
How
Yeah.
did you all get rescued?
Ah, that's easy. We just...
Turpy is
That's
angry.
it.
Spike reacts as if Pinkie has left, but she was baking a mere few steps away and had no trouble continuing the conversation
True.
at the oven a moment ago. Also, it was only the previous episode where Pinkie said,
Starlight spell made me burn perfectly good cake. I never burn cake.
Perhaps Starlight's mind control spell isn't as temporary as we thought?
We've got to go talk to Applejack.
Good idea. She'll straighten this out.
In the search for truth, the element of honesty is consulted last. I'm flying, Applejack.
Yeah.
That food isn't fit for a pony of proper breeding, darling.
Sure, make the white pony a racist.
Cucumber sandwiches on the other hook.
I'm fine,
It's a sin when ponies say on the other hand, but on the other
that one
hoof
I
is
didn't
also a
catch,
sin,
but
considering
thank
the idiom refers to 2 options and not 4. Sim counter always wins. Rary Jack Glomp is still more canon than Appledash.
Why, this will make a perfect tablecloth for my cheese board.
AJ's version of Rarity thinks some dirty old map would be a suitable surface for food. Either that makes a lot of sense or no sense at all, depending on how you look at it. One thing all of their stories have in common is that the map was actually made of rubber. Did AJ lie about losing her trademark hat, or did Twilight assume that it was lost even though she's wearing it right now? Twilight wasn't able to convince the friends to meet and talk it over at the castle, yet somehow she's able to convince them to meet at the very location of the incident.
I need my
Which,
tendies.
mind you,
Where are my
is a
tendies?
coastal city. They had to travel all the way from Ponyville without bumping into each other on the train, but still arrive on the dock within seconds of each other. Except for Pinky, that is. She just teleports here.
I'm just waiting for an apology.
That's rich coming from you, Applejack. We're all still waiting on an apology for that broken Pinky promise.
Why would you want me to apologize when it was Rarity's fault?
Applejack never even slightly implied that it was directed at Pinky. As mentioned, Pinky has been cool with AJ up until this point.
A Trihorn Bunyip, who's very sorry he accidentally knocked over your boat.
You better hope that Trihorn Bunyip has really good insurance.
Perfect time to do things that were silly.
Yeah, that creature, I don't even know what that is.
Wanted to give you 2 a high seas adventure.
Applejack is the only pony who wasn't completely selfish with her plans, casually desecrating potentially priceless artifacts.
True.
Also, who knows what kind of germs or harmful magic these hold? If this wasn't the happy ending to an episode, uncovering these items could have just as easily unleashed some ancient evil upon Equestria.
Gems and stuff are
really looking forward to getting out of their element.
Getting out of their element?
Get out of their element. To get my friends out of their element. To get out of their element. Wanted to get out of their element.
You wanted to get out of their element?
To get the others out of their element. Out of your element.
Talk this way. Walk this way.
Relish the story just a tad.
That is the same drum beat, I'm sorry.
Who is the Princess of Friendship?
Your mom. Nice. Look at all the seamen. Stallions.
They just keep
Complaint line! All the seamen keep coming. I'm sorry. Alright. That was fun. I don't really have much to say, honestly, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into the next one. This is Top Bolt. Everything wrong with. No, the next one is Where the Apple Lies. My bad. Alright. In 3, 2, 1.
Sounds to me like you're trying to make excuses.
Chocolate milk?
Chocolate milk.
That's the last of it, Filthy Rich.
Just Rich, please.
Filthy Rich
that is
possesses
just
forbidden knowledge of when he's appearing in a new episode due to the unwritten rule of the universe compelling ponies to call him by his full name at least once per episode.
You kept track of what went into which crate, right?
Oh,
Your family sells Apple products, Apple Bloom. This is your one job. This episode was later censored to remove all 18 uses of the word cider and replace them with juice. Some of you right now think this is a joke, but no, they
It's
really
not.
did go through all that trouble.
Did you pack up the cider? Did you pack up the juice?
Cider season's around the corner. Juice season's around the corner.
right after we
The fuck was
have
that
a
voice?
glass of cider. Right after we have a glass of juice.
Starlight whimper.
So
Granny
weird.
knows I wasn't trying to make
But I know
off
some
with a
countries
shipment
the
of
context is
cider,
different.
right?
We know exactly whose fault it was.
Long-standing overconfidence leading to a failure to properly label boxes? Nah, the filly who didn't take the time to open each and every one to check is at fault.
Yeah.
Never told a lie in your whole life.
Aren't
Apple
the
Bloom
crates
hasn't even seen season
nailed?
2.
Shut. She
But
wasn't
they
born
have.
yet. No.
Transition to the past reveals that this rope has never been used.
Ideas are all well and good, but you can't plow a field with them.
The
Can't
patent
plow a
office
mare
would
with
be
ideas.
inclined to disagree.
I'd like you to meet my fiancée, Spoiled Milk.
It's quite an
Spoiled.
achievement to not only be worst pony, but also have the worst pony name.
Yeah.
I'm the one with with the ideas on how to run things better around here.
I'm guessing it'll be the one with the best ideas.
Filthy Rich conveniently references a prior conversation which you couldn't possibly know about. Money talks, but apparently it also listens to private conversations. Rich makes a business deal with a child, then acts surprised when it doesn't work out. Big Mac may be the only pony to have ever been told to shut up, who proceeded to practically never speak again.
Granny will love the idea.
Yeah, surely Granny will love the idea, which her opposition to was clearly established just moments ago. It's pretty normal for cartoon characters to pull random objects out of invisible pockets. But this Zap Apple jar appears on the ground in front of her.
Cider starts to spoil the second it
wasn't
comes
this
out
after
the
what he
fridge.
said?
So which is it? A North American cider which spoils quickly, or an alcoholic beverage requiring censorship? This question is rhetorical. Obviously it's a magical drink, which is only alcoholic to certain ponies. Also, if Granny doesn't want to make cider unless it can be enjoyed fresh, why were all those crates of it sitting around in the beginning for Apple Bloom to mix up? Unless those were the alcoholic ones. Big Mac steals a look at his future magic potion-induced lover. Also,
that's how every pony was wearing their mane back then.
Cheerly has been caught in 4K as a
Literally
liar.
the only
Elder abuse.
I mean, would you admit to that?
In her haste to distract Granny, Applejack forgets that they live in the barn.
Your brother was just explaining why he always wears his yoke.
A yoke joins two draft animals together. This is actually a draft collar, but I guess when you're the only pony doing something, you get to name it whatever you want. Applejack runs over to Granny to hide her in the barn, but there's no way Rich wouldn't have spotted her while Applejack ran to the barn. Elder abuse. Granny thinks AJ has been here the whole time to listen to her story and somehow doesn't question how AJ could have possibly intercepted the news about apple blight spreading to ponies and that the hospital needs her help. They left long before the apples did, but are only arriving now. Must have been weighed down by all that money. Use of the Red Cross symbol is against the Geneva Conventions. It's why Nurse Redheart later got a new cutie mark, and it's why many video games had to change their health packs. Yep, My Little Pony is guilty of an international war crime. Checkmate, bronies. An additional sin for going through all the effort of censoring the word cider, but not fixing the actual war crime.
Why can't you be Granny?
You just ramble on until we all got caught. Just lay down, keep still, and promise me you won't say anything.
In other words, don't ramble on until you all get caught. Why is he the one under the sheet again? This guy steals an unidentified body and brings it to an operating theater for unspecified reasons. Oh hey, a random body. Time for this backwater hospital to learn what's inside of ponies.
You two, don't lose that gurney.
Oh, and don't look under the sheet while I'm gone. Come play with us, Granny. Derby's eyes were simply too strong for the hospital to alter.
One guy,
their feeble attempts only made her more powerful.
One guy from Rainbow
Don't
Falls.
worry, this is our best doctor.
Apparently, there's nothing in the Hippocratic Oath about lying. There is no reason for Rich not to immediately recognize Granny, other than plot convenience, that is.
Apple blight is a serious disease.
She said gasket mites.
This mare is standing inches away from Granny and somehow misheard. Not only should
ears
Granny
are in the
recognize
hat,
this as
though.
a pony's leg, but she was also directly told the blight had spread to ponies. But she forgets both because shenanigans got a shenanigan.
The only thing to do is prune the branch.
This is...
You say prune them branches?
No, she said prune the branches.
Yeah.
Not only is she partially deaf, but she also assumes improper grammar from accent alone. Amputation, you know, for legs. And for kids. They are in a hospital's operating theater, yet for some reason every pony reacts with horror at the thought of operating. AJ is hiding Granny from Rich, but she doesn't think to hide Rich from Granny. Granny could have easily had a word with him and put this whole thing to an end long ago. Granny removes her mask for no reason other than to make a dramatic reveal to Rich, even though she is less disguised than Clark Kent.
So she's not a doctor.
This guy is smart enough to collect evidence for the forthcoming criminal charges.
Yeah.
You can't just walk into a hospital, dress up as a doctor, and start performing operations without repercussions, Granny.
I hope you learned something.
She just got drunk. She's senile.
I learned that no pony starts out perfect, and sometimes you gotta make a few mistakes to figure out who you are.
Apple Bloom
your own
somehow
Granny might
interprets the
saw your...
exact opposite of the lying is bad lesson.
Yeah,
You've
actually.
never told a lie in your whole life.
Now, the thing is, Rich, it ain't really up to us.
I had no idea.
Could have been easy.
Excuse me 1 second.
Could have been easy. Oh. Yeah, I saw that, the indents. Huh. We're going to the end of the music. Well, yeah, that was pretty fun. Again, don't really have much to say. Now we're going to go ahead and do top bold. And 3, 2, 1.
What are
you doing back so soon?
Official friendship.
I like how
is
Rainbow
this.
has her hoof around
Spring
Twilight.
training was awesome! Awesome!
Dashie's got an
Awesome.
awesome quota, and she intends to fulfill it before the opening credits.
Help Applejack make my favorite cider.
Dash didn't get the memo from the previous episode. No one knows who this yellow pony
Yeah.
is, but she sure sounds a lot like Spitfire. The problem with that is we've never seen Spitfire without clothing.
Maybe it's 'cause
the
there's so
epitome of obligatory Starlight. Starlight is just
Maybe you
here.
haven't.
She doesn't say a word or do anything. That's a sin, whether you love or hate
Yeah,
her.
why is Starlight
Forget
here?
weatherproofing or security. Rainbow Dash needs her own entrance to the throne room now. She can't be caught on the ground like some kind of unicorn or earth peasant. Or maybe this window just broke. They simply have no way to order replacement from the metaphysical contractor which installed it. Twilight knew Rainbow Dash was at the academy. The map summoned Dash just as she was leaving the academy. So not only did the map troll Rainbow Dash by making her rush home, but Twilight had plenty of time to think to meet at the academy, but instead stood around doing nothing during Dashie's entire commute home. Egg white flipper.
To me.
Spitfire.
You know it's season 6 when our main character's entry is met with awe and wonder. Angel Wing's bracelets disappear for a moment, but thankfully the universe restores balance when she gets a second set. Also, speaking of the bracelets, Pony Creator is canon.
You two are my favorite ponies in all of Equestria.
Well, isn't that sweet?
Spitfire interrupts a Make-A-Wish kid and somehow isn't worst pony.
Welcome, Princess
Because
Twilight.
Spitfire
What are you
is
doing back
kinda
so
awesome.
soon?
Give the Alicorn a warm welcome and give the Wonderbolt an interrogation, why don't you? It's obvious who controls the military budget. This pony's name is Short Fuse? More like short on cutie marks.
It's fresh in
Oh,
my
damn.
mind from when I learned to fly.
Rainbow Dash reminisces upon her first time at the Academy as if it was a long time ago, but Twilight's flight training was only shortly after that. Twilight goes through the door, but not before going through the wall.
Kinda, yeah.
Twilight's magic glow falls off her horn. It's time for another game of Spot the Main Character.
We'll ace that test with our wings tied behind our flanks.
You know, the show has used the term wings behind my back in the past, but Sky had to take it one step further by involving his butt.
He set the record for the fastest vertical acceleration rate.
Based on what we later learn, was this record rescinded?
Maybe it's a length
Vapor
thing.
is treated as a selfless victim in this predicament, but if she's responsible for knowingly cheating a record, then maybe she's not as innocent as she acts. Considering Vapor needs to remain under Sky to help him fly, it's a good thing he never decided to fly
Dignation.
lower than this, otherwise they'd both become pavement paste.
I was voted best sneeze.
About 25% of the
though.
world's population has the photic sneeze reflex when looking at a bright light. Vapor Trail is in the 1% who experiences a sneeze reflex from merely thinking about sneezing.
It's gonna be pretty obvious during the solo trials when he can't get enough air to do a flipping loop.
They know Vapor is helping Sky, but they have no reason to assume he can't fly on his own. The idea of a Pegasus helping another Pegasus fly already has multiple layers of convoluted magic needed to facilitate such a thing. But the fact Vapor even has to anticipate Sky's moves before he does them is a whole different level of cartoon magic. Also, part of the reason we have to assume Vapor is special and magic is involved is because, otherwise, Dash is a horrible pony for not helping Scootaloo in a similar manner.
Sky needs to be able to fly without
It's
you,
probably,
or he won't
I don't know.
Dash is vague about that, meaning making the
There might be
cut
a
or
difference
meaning
there.
a Pegasus who can't fly surviving at all.
I guess
I like the
haven't thought
double mean
about
face,
it.
by the way.
I just want to be with my best friend.
And we all know what best friend is code for.
I can't believe I was able to keep up.
Larabon.
That's the first nice thing I've heard you say about yourself.
Rainbow Dash somehow misunderstood her disbelief in herself as a nice thing. Sky has never flown 20 feet in the air without Vapor's assistance. Has Vapor spent her entire life next to Sky without a moment of rest? The element of loyalty and the Princess of Friendship herself stand idly by while a life-changing argument escalates. We hear you whispering, Vapor.
He also zooms away
Plan
rather
on murdering
rather
Sky in his
fast.
sleep?
What? No!
This is all my fault.
No, it's my fault.
Or maybe it's the fault of the pony who has been lying to her friend her whole life. To add to that, why is the map summoning the Friendship Gang only now if this has been a problem their entire lives?
Hey, Sky.
It's because now it matters.
I thought I might find you here.
And also,
Well, without
it was-
Vapor's help, it's
it
not like
wasn't
he has
around
the ability
forever.
to leave.
It's been around for
I
like
was
2
a
years.
natural at friendship. I got better.
You hear that, introverts? You can get better too.
And now I'm the
Yeah, I think I
princess
did.
of friendship.
I think I got
So
better
you're
at
saying I
friendship.
can be the princess of flying?
No, Twilight, stop. Equestria
Yeah.
does not need more alicorns. Rainbow Dash doesn't have a right arm.
I
She
knew it
also doesn't have a
immediately
right
when he said it, when
foreleg.
it got a lot louder.
Vapor was never trying to steal your spotlight.
Oh, is that what he was upset about? The whole lying since childhood thing seemed a lot more concerning, but okay.
And Vapor, you shouldn't have been so content to take a back seat.
Always
kiss.
being there to assist his flight every waking moment since childhood certainly does not sound like a backseat position.
I don't want Spitfire to be mad at me.
Glad to know Dash is helping for the right reasons.
Wonderbolt emergency. We gotta get back to HQ. I was just there.
Oh, by the way, the emergency involves multiple ponies' lives, so could we maybe move quickly? Ponies are normally called by the map after some sort of friendship conflict is detected. However, Sky and Vapor are best friends at the start. It's not until Dash and Twilight intervene that their friendship is truly endangered. In other words, this may be the first time the map was technically the source of a friendship problem. Did you enjoy these two new characters and their interesting dynamic? Well, too bad, because we never hear from them again.
We do see them though. But I'd say that
I got better.
it was like on the brink, and it would have gone terribly if they had kept going for the Wonderbolts to find out. But instead, they found out.
That test with their wings tied behind our flanks.
I think that was like the right. That might have actually been like the purpose.
Next to yours.
That might have been like the right point to do it, for them to go on their mission, because there would be no reason, I guess, to do it before. And it only just now happened then, because then they finally got into the Wonderbolt Academy, and it would be before they had to like start flying on their own. So it was like that window of time where the map decided that's when it should intervene, and it was likely going to cause them to get real angry with each other just so they can hit that truth, so they can build from it. I think that's what the episode was going for, and what the map was going for, at least. Speaking for the map as a as a person, I guess. But yeah, now we got the finale to Where and Back Again, Part 1. 3, 2, 1. That's wrong. 3, 2, 1.
Your wings look different.
I guess they do.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Well, we don't all have magical horns.
If only those magical horns had the ability to teleport books instead of carrying them.
I've been meaning to move these older books to my reference section for a while.
Why would Twilight have anything against old books? And what changeling replaced her?
She sounded so nerdy.
How nice
saying
of them
that,
to recognize Derpy as best pony by bowing. Bow, duck, same thing.
Who would be sending me a
Nice
letter?
reverse.
Oh no, Starlight, run! It's fan mail. The bronies found you. Dynamite Glimmer.
Yeah,
Random mare just outside the village runs with balloons as if she just stole them. All hail floating yellow mare. She even flies her own banner.
She's very
the
tiny,
flag
too.
of the broken mask layer.
And I can tell you from personal experience that
A
things
lot of
do
weird
indeed
animation
get
errors
better.
there.
Yeah, don't worry. Your whole life improves once you grow your first pair of wings.
Just be
Goddamn.
honest with them.
Who knew? The biggest stakeholder of honesty proposes more honesty. It had to be that or something Apple related. You feel that breeze? That's the shockwave of 5 ponies conveniently appearing out of nowhere.
Your best friend.
And we all know what best friend is code for.
Town where you magically stole every pony's cutie mark?
Starlight
this
misses
isn't
her
canon.
cue and fails to interrupt Trixie as scripted. Also, thanks for catching us up, Starlight.
And if things get weird for you, just let me know. I've got your flank.
Having some ponies back means you're watching out for them, but having some ponies flank leaves them open to attack from 3 other directions.
That was strange.
Isn't she always strange?
You know what else is strange? Removing all of your clothing in the middle of town for no reason.
We need Rarity and Applejack. Very important friendship business.
Yeah.
Why did Changeling Shy whisper that if Changeling Dash was just going to say it
I
anyway?
did notice that,
Good thing
like the
Starlight
recent
just
time that I'd
happens to
seen
take a
this.
step back. Otherwise, she would have been squashed by the door.
You must get help.
Like professional help.
We're not doing
you
get
keep
help.
going on and on about your emotionally traumatic past. It's not healthy.
They've taken my sister and I. Your dream called to me and I was able to break through.
Hold up. Luna manages to break through the anti-magic force field of the Changeling Hive, even though Discord himself can't? That would mean Princess Luna is the most powerful being in the show.
Yes!
Canon accepted. Luna could just say the Changelings are back, but decides to be vague for the sake of a dramatic reveal.
Love to perform for peanut butter crackers.
Trixie's having the horrible nightmare that is Equestria Girls.
Damn.
I think I figured out what's wrong with my friends.
I have a whole list of things that are wrong with your friends.
Cinemersin's most great and powerful competition. Starlight exposes herself for using wall hacks by picking Trixie up without even seeing her. The Changelings don't lock the doors at
Proximity
night before
mode.
having their super secret Skype call with Chrysalis, but did lock up during the day when it was more
Skype.
suspicious to do so. A sin
fucking
in memory
uses
of the
Skype
poor
anymore?
Changeling who had to be Spike. The Changelings must be blind to not see them. If they're not even going to lock the door, you'd think they could keep a literal little fly on the wall to guard against curious ponies.
A little fly on
I
the
can't
wall.
take any of you seriously when you look like that.
Chrysalis is still in her pre-brony stage,
We got too small last time.
attempting to take over a whole city by force
then all the other
and failing to
changelings
do so was thinking
become,
too small. Surely taking over all of
become
Equestria will
bronies
go
at the
much
end.
smoother. The slightest door creaking alerts the entire room, but loudly shouting Queen Chrysalis isn't a problem. Starlight could have teleported them both out at any moment, but chose to test out her Cool Noon visibility spell first.
I can deal with this. I'm just a
She uses
performer.
those for
This is
episodes that aren't
princess
about her.
level stuff.
Implying princesses actually do anything other than a performance of duties. You know he's the same changeling because he even replicates the background music from that episode.
Damn.
Realistically though, this is a terrible way to prove identity. How is Starlight expected to remember this specific moment word for word? Because even Thorax gets it wrong.
As the Princess of Friendship, I try to set an example.
Twilight said.
As the princess of friendship, I should set an example for maybe just stay over
Should.
there for now, okay?
That's
You
racist.
paraphrased.
They took Cadence,
Gotta.
Shining Armor, and Flurry Hearts.
Well, at least one of them won't be missed.
Sunburst sent me here to get Princess Twilight's help.
If Sunburst knows the leaders have been replaced, then the whole Empire probably knows by now. And if that's the case, why take the form of leaders in the first place?
Isn't this quite the combination of secondary characters?
Episode Self-Sin calls for 2 sins. One for Discord's observation of this episode's motif, and one for the meta observation itself. Discord acts surprised Fluttershy was pony-napped, implying he didn't have some kind of magical safety on her.
Odd.
Yeah.
I was trying to take us right to Fluttershy, but there is no Fluttershy.
Discord appears way too calm, considering the implications of Fluttershy no longer existing, you know, suggesting she's dead. To be continued. Diubal Diamond.
Nice.
Magically stole every pony's
Okay,
cutie mark,
that's a
replaced them
cute
with equal
Trixie.
signs.
You got here just in time. We were having some debate about these banners. Which do you think
Sunset.
feels more sunsetty?
Right. I think I saw a coaster in this list here, and Moonberry Jam twice. If I got that name correctly, it went by a little bit fast. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get right into episode 2 in 3, 2, 1.
Figuring out the best way to do something before you actually do it?
We go in.
Twilight Sparkle. Starlight confirmed, more powerful than
Okay.
Thanos, and more powerful than Discord for that matter.
Maybe we should come up with a plan first?
Says
wow.
the pony who leads the walk to certain doom without a plan anyway.
Nothing
I just
other than
realized the
changeling
Thanos
magic
thing.
works here.
That may be true, but just imagine the things Discord could do from the outside. He could teleport the entire royal army to the Hive's doorstep. He could teleport all of Equestria's best non-magical weapons and strongest armor. He could teleport all of the X to Smash. Arbitrarily
Yeah.
restricting a previously all-powerful character is going to bring about a whole lot of
Grabbing an
sin.
eye
And
looks
don't
like
even
that.
dare try using the Season 9 excuse that Discord lets bad things happen on purpose to test Princess Twilight, because she ain't even part of this.
So, what kind of plan were
True.
you thinking?
How about you go in and use your uncanny impersonation skills to sound just like the Queen and order everyone to stand down? All-powerful anti-magic throne, which is apparently
Queen
more powerful
Chrysalis
than
and
Discord,
Trixie- yeah,
doesn't make
that's right,
use
they're
of a
the same
physical
voice
force
actors.
field like the ones we've seen previously, simply because then the episode couldn't happen. Part of the background is missing here.
I don't know how any of you manage not being able to disappear and reappear whenever you want.
Well,
Much like any brony
Trixie
who
can.
stopped watching after Season 3, Discord forgets
not that
Starlight
well.
exists.
Like a secret code.
How about if we say Klutzy and you say Draconiquus?
Klutzy Draconiquus.
Sure, choose a code word that's the most difficult to pronounce in a stressful situation.
How often do you all get hungry?
I haven't been since I met
If you're
Spike.
choking, you can say it
Thorax
pretty well.
meets
'cause it's very
Spike and hangs
percussive.
out for a day, and that's all it took to overcome a changeling's insatiable hunger. That means no changeling ever got along with another to make this simple discovery for themselves.
I have a Fluttershy to save.
Discord shouts to give away their position for no reason. Well,
Yeah.
except maybe to give them the idea to take Fluttershy's form later. Plot hinges upon Discord being a loud
Yeah.
dum-dum. Trixie and Thorax formulate an amazing plan to distract the Changeling Patrol, but for some reason, this is a surprise to Discord and Starlight. That means they had to have snuck away off-screen to purposefully not let the other two hear the plan.
2 of the changelings didn't go with the rest.
They went to protect the Queen. Good thinking, Starlight.
Too bad the wall closed up behind them, making this observation meaningless.
There's no way past the guards. We'll be spotted for sure.
Good thing those guards leave for a lunch break in the next shot. Super important door puts form over function by physically closing as opposed to magically closing, like every other opening in here. How nice of the changelings to consider accessibility by hoof. Trixie's microphone is the most powerful object in the universe because it magically amplifies Discord's voice when even Discord himself can't use magic.
This isn't the toughest crowd I've ever been in front of, but
it's definitely the easiest to bug.
That's racist.
It is absolutely ridiculous that worked.
Well, you don't know if that worked just yet. They might still kill him.
We're probably all
As she was saying.
Probably all changelings?
It worked.
So there's a chance they're all Fluttershy? Hey, which of you remembers what we did last week? You do? Okay, I found her. Nice try, losers. Trixie is a little too eager to needlessly sacrifice herself.
Might be just full of
probably
emotion,
because she saw someone do something similar in a movie once. Trixie credits Starlight with devising the teleportation illusion from earlier, but it was clearly established that Starlight wasn't in on the plan. Imposter Discord is standing 10 feet away, but didn't overhear this very loud and very drawn-out discussion. Episode lies to the audience by making this look like one continuous scene for the sake of tricking Chrysalis at the same time as us. Changelings use cardboard cutouts for glowing eye intimidation purposes.
You won't get away with this!
I already have.
Imagine if a villain didn't respond with those exact words just to shake things up for a changeling.
Your little squad was it.
You might even call them a Suicide Squad.
Why did you do all this?
So I could feed, of course, by replacing the most beloved figures in Equestria.
Except they were discovered mere minutes after being replaced.
I still need that
We heard that Sunburst called an emergency meeting and accused the imposters right away.
What happens to those who turn their back on the hive?
Speaking of turning your back, this is what happens to those who turn their back to their enemy.
I didn't quite see that.
Feel the love inside me slipping away.
Chrysalis
The
must not
gayest
be
line
lactose
in the
intolerant,
whole
what with all
fucking
the
show.
cheese she's consuming. The catchlights in Starlight's left eye flip about as suddenly as the changeling's allegiance.
This is what happens when you give love freely.
Oh, in that case, we'll pass. We look much better the way we are now. The changelings have spent their entire lives following a strict dictatorship.
I feel like half of them would do
Thorax
that.
is the only one to ever show any form of compassion or friendliness, and we know that's only because he was born different. Yet, the changelings instantly betray the queen on a whim without another thought.
What happened? We defeated the changelings, and they're all kind of
Thanks for the
now.
There is zero indication that they did anything other than discover they no longer need to feed upon others. Not being a parasite is all it takes to qualify as good, according to Starlight. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. In fact, don't talk to any of my son's cousins or other family ever again. Anime hair is blowing in the wind one moment, not the next. Then the wind blows in two different directions at once. Chrysalis does a cool backflip and casually flies away from a herd of alicorns who all do nothing to stop her. Surely this moment of inexplicable laziness won't come back to bite them on the flank, right? Maybe they were all just too distracted by that cool backflip.
Wow! Incredible! Thorax, as the new leader of the changelings...
How'd you know Thorax, by the way?
Thorax is the leader now? Boy, was that a quick election.
True.
Starlight's the one who spent the past 2 episodes redeeming herself as a leader. It would make more sense for her to become Princess of the Bugs. The Diubal Diamond has been doubled.
Again. They just copy-pasted the name.
I was afraid I might go back to being the pony I used to be.
There is no revenge you could ever conceive of that will come close to what I will exact upon you one day, Starlight Glimmer.
And your little dog, too. Eight seasons. Okay. I'm curious as to what that was that he had done. I looked away for a second, so I just want to go back to... Oh, okay, so it just showed like his sub counter going from 2,000 to 0. Okay, I don't know, I don't know what that necessarily meant, but yeah, that was pretty fun. That was a nice return to this series. I always love this series because always. You do like kind of question a lot of stuff, a lot of the episode choices. Though I also, kind of defend it a little bit. Some of these things do seem like they could be explained a bit in one way or another. But others, like Discord, just like blurting out for no reason that he's there and there to save Fluttershy. That is a stupid move on Discord. Not gonna lie. So he kind of deserved to be the first one to get cut from the line, but yeah, it was fun to get back to. So that should be all for this video. It's a pretty long video, I'm sure. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the commentary. God bless you, safe and have a nice day, and as always, goodbye.